So what do you know? Another day, another MFL dilemma, this time about what to do for season 5 for Empire FC. I did a video a couple days ago. A lot of you watched it. Thank you for doing so. And it was all about what I should do with the now infamous Engelbert Engelhardt, 68 rated cam from Germany, who I think is now going to be too good for Spark. And I was going to have Engelhardt be the best player on my team and sacrifice a year of progression, because if he was the best player and everybody else was worse and playing in the lowest division on MFL, he wasn't going to progress that much. And so I made the video asking for everybody's help, and I ended up getting a rather attractive offer in the comments section of the video from Ranjan here, who is fairly famous on MFL because Ranjan runs the Fortress Agency, which, if we look at the leaderboards, is the agency that has the most players on MFL. And this kind of coincidentally came as I did a live stream yesterday with Trust the Process, who has 1,024 players. But Fortress Agency has 1,419 as of right now. And the offer that I got, which was extremely generous in my mind, although we haven't worked out any details because I still don't really know whether I should do it or not. But the line here, if you don't want to sweat it for season 1, meaning this season 5, meaning my first season, I could loan my 6 65 plus overall rated players to the Fortress Agency, and I'll loan 12 60 to 64 overall players to you, meaning they would lend them to me. Now, I would imagine that the Fortress Agency has plenty of players to loan, because if you can just casually say, I'll give you 12 players between 60 and 64, they probably have a lot. And yeah, here they are, 1,419 players. And so I attempted to figure out whether I wanted to do this or not by looking at all of the cards that they had between 60 and 64. And as you imagine, this is going to take a minute to load because there are so many players. And frankly, there's some excellent facial hair and top of head hair. We've got a man bun goalie here. It's actually quite an interesting cast of characters, but I'll hit the table view because it's just a little easier. There are plenty of 60 to 64 rated players. And the reason why I wanted to stick in the 60 to 64 rated area is because if I get rid of Engelhardt and my other Gerard Hendricks, where is he? He'll come up here. He is 67 rated. And it just seemed like if I got rid of Engelhardt at 68 because he was too good, Hendricks only 1 rating point behind is probably what I should do as well. I also have Rafael Porter, who is a 23-year-old, 73 rated right back. Coyote Udo from Nigeria, 74 rated left back. I also have Minor Viquez from Costa Rica, 21-year-old, 75 rated right mid. And then my top player is Stuart Freeman, who I had loaned out to Alcox AC this past season. Alcox won their league, and so I ended up getting a fairly good MFL payment from Freeman, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 1,100 MFL from that loan, which I only got Freeman, a couple weeks ago because I didn't even play season 4. And so, I picked up some nice MFL just from the loans. And so looking back at the Fortress Agency, we'll be able to see I can basically get whatever I want. And I can fill out the squad however I want. And they just have everything that I need. And they have players who have progressed over this season. And those, it's not a ton of progression, but it is some. And whether that matters or not, who knows? Meaning matters for the following season. But it just seems like 12 players from this group could get me pretty far, considering I already have kind of a number of players that I was going to keep. So I have Nuno Pinto, my Portuguese striker, who will probably be my best player now on the new team. I have Vinko Samardzic from Croatia, 20-year-old center back. I also have Zoltan Stelmach, who I have gotten an offer from. And for those of you who are very familiar with MFL, probably know who I got the offer from, given Zoltan's passport. And but he plays left back and center back. And I have Lutfi Kamberi, who just absolutely kills it in training matches, and yet in real ones seems to come up a little lighter. But whatever. And then I have Haider Pachon and Pierce Flynn as my other kind of 60 rated players. And so if I add those 6 to the 12 that I could get from the Fortress agency to have a fairly, that gets me to 18 for the upcoming season. I do have my own goalie here. I have a 19-year-old 54 rated English goalie, Cyril Hawkins, with the huge eyes. I feel like I would keep him around. Maybe he becomes my worst player. But the more people I talk to who have kind of these bigger agencies, the more they tend to run clubs with 17 to 19 players. And I was actually thinking of going like 22 to 25. And it just seems like that may stunt the progression for a couple of the players that I end up not playing. And so maybe I will take that group and run that in my main Spark club, Empire FC. And I'm considering getting another club and basically putting everyone else in it. And I don't even know if I'll be able to loan out guys in the low 40s and stuff. Maybe I'll just throw a bunch of them in the development center now that I actually have some MFL. But what do you guys think about this trade? Like I said, we haven't discussed any sort of rev share. My guess is maybe we just do 5% for all of the players, my 6 there and his 12 into my club. Given that they have 1,400 players, I just don't know how much they care about progression for these guys. Maybe they just want them to play. And given that I only have 6 players between 60 and 64, then I'll be, these guys should get plenty of games in season 5. I want to make sure that my players get developed and they progress. And Fortress Agency obviously has clubs all over in plenty of divisions. We see this silver, bronze, iron, stone. They're all over the place. And so my expectation is that my players will be playing with other players in their range and against players that are similarly rated, if not higher, to help in their progression. And it's a little bit disappointing, this part of MFL, that I have these very good players and they really make no sense in my club. And I guess you could make the argument maybe I should just buy a higher club, buy something in stone or bronze or just even iron, and see if I can develop that. But I'm just not sure I'm ready to take that big step in my first real season of MFL. And so unfortunately, I loaned some of these players, like my top players, out, and I've gotten some interest from those managers to bring them back. And obviously I can't lend them back to those clubs if I do this deal with the Fortress Agency. So I could absolutely use everyone's opinion. Please leave it in the comments below, and hopefully we can come to a decision soon, because season 5 is basically days away. Thanks so much. And if you haven't joined MFL yet, but you are now ready to do it, there is a link in the description of this video. It is my referral link. If you use that link and spend at least $25 from the store, you'll get a free common card player as well. It also helps support me and the channel, so I'm greatly appreciative if you would use that. It's just coincidence, probably, but a previous referral of mine actually pulled a 92 rated left back from their starter pack and sold it for $800 and got $200 worth of players in that deal. So I'm just saying, you might want to use it.